students, I Rajeshwari Shirkanhalli welcome you all in Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School channel. Students, we are discussing chapter number 12 friction. In the previous session, we have discussed that friction is a type of force. That's why friction is also called as frictional force or force of friction. Now, friction occurs in between the surfaces and it depends totally on the nature of surface. If the surfaces are rough, then there is more force of friction, and if the surfaces are smooth, then there is less force of friction. After that, we have also discussed about sliding friction and static friction. Static friction means the friction which is offered by the surfaces when one of the surface is at rest. Now, for example, when you are moving a box from its rest position, then there is a force of friction between the box and the floor, that is called as static friction. And whereas sliding friction means it is the friction in between two surfaces when the object is in motion. Means if suppose for example, the box is already moving and when you push it, it becomes easy for you to push that object which is already in motion. Why? Because there is presence of sliding friction which is little bit less than the static friction. So, after discussing about static friction and sliding friction, we have discussed about the necessity of friction, means advantages and disadvantages of friction. Sometimes we need to increase the friction and sometimes we need to decrease the friction. Now, let us move to the next point, that is wheels. Wheels reduce friction. So, you must have seen attaches means luggages which are fitted with rollers. So, do you know why these rollers are fitted? Because these rollers make the people easy to carry the luggage. Even a child can pull such a piece of luggage. So, just look at this figure. Here you can find there is a small boy who is pulling the luggage which seems to be very heavy. Why it is so? Let us find out. So, why it becomes very easy for the child to pull the luggage? Because if you see at this picture, you can find here there are wheels, means rollers are there which rolls the luggage. Instead of pushing, pulling or lifting it, it becomes very easy as there are rollers. Now, let us see what are these rollers. To understand about these rollers, there is an activity given, that is activity 12.4, means this is the fourth activity of your chapter. In this activity, you have to take a few pencils which are cylindrical in shape. Okay, you know that pencils are cylindrical generally. So, you have to take pencils which are cylindrical in shape. Place them parallel to each other on a table. So, you have to take pencils and arrange them in parallel position. You can see here in this figure there are 3 pencils kept parallel to each other. So, place them parallel to each other on a table, then place a thick book over it. Okay. After that, you have to place a thick book over these pencils. Then you have to push the book. When you try to push the book, you will observe that pencils will start rolling as the book moves. Okay. So, do you feel it easier to move the book in this way than to slide it? Obviously, you will find it is very easy to move the book when it is placed on the pencils. Do you think that resistance to the motion of the book has been reduced? Yes. The resistance to the motion means opposition to the motion, which is because of friction, is reduced when you place the book on the pencils. Have you seen heavy machinery being moved by placing logs under it? Yes. So, heavy machines can also be moved very easily by placing the big logs of wood below them. When one body rolls over the surface of another body, the resistance to its motion is called the rolling friction. So students, we have discussed two types of frictions, that is static friction and sliding friction. Now the third type of friction is rolling friction. So when one body rolls over the surface of another body, then the resistance to its motion is called the rolling friction. Rolling reduces the friction. So this is the smallest friction. Static friction, sliding friction and rolling friction, if you have to arrange in the descending order, then the highest friction which comes first in this arrangement is static friction, then sliding and then rolling. So rolling reduces friction. It's always easier to roll than to slide a body over another. So you can try it. Instead of sliding, if you are rolling something, it is more easier to roll the body over another. That is the reason it is convenient to pull the luggages fitted with rollers. Can you now understand why wheel is said to be one of the greatest inventions of mankind? Because of presence of wheels, heavy load, heavy luggage can be moved very easily, as the wheels reduces the friction. Since the rolling friction is smaller than the sliding friction, sliding is replaced in most machines by rolling by the use of ball bearings. So as I have just told that among these static friction, sliding friction and rolling friction, the rolling friction is the smallest, and it is the smallest means it is smaller than the sliding friction, and because of this in most of the machines sliding is replaced by rolling. How it is replaced? By using ball bearings. All of you are familiar with ball bearings. Common examples are the use of ball bearings between hubs and axles of ceiling fans and bicycles. So you will find the ball bearings between the hubs and axles of ceiling fans and even in your bicycles. So students, here in this picture you can see the ball bearings are shown. So these are the ball bearings which are used for reducing friction. Okay, now after discussing about wheels, let us move to the next and the last concept of the chapter, that is fluid friction. Till now we have discussed about the friction exerted by the different surfaces, and all these surfaces are solid. These are all solids, they are in solid state. But do you know that liquids and gases also exerts friction? So that is called as fluid friction. What is the meaning of fluid? It's a property to flow. The substances which can flow, they are called as fluids. You know that air is very light and thin, yet it exerts frictional force on objects moving through it. So whatever the objects are moving through air, even they get opposition to their movement. Why? Because friction is exerted by air also. Similarly, water and other liquids exert force of friction when objects move through them. Okay, so when the objects are moving through water, even they experience a force of friction. Now this friction is offered by water. That means not only solids, even water, not only water, other liquids as well as other gases, they exert force of friction. In science, the common name of gases and liquids is fluids. Do you know why the gases and liquids are called as fluids? Because they flow. You know that gases and liquids flow. You can try it. On a slanting board, you can spill some water and you can see that as soon as you stop you start pouring water on it, the water starts flowing down, means it starts flowing, it flows. Why? Because it is a fluid and it is there with every liquid, but this fluidity depends again on the nature of liquid. Similarly, gas flow very fast. That is why if you take an incense stick and just light it and place it in one corner of the room, you find that the aroma of the smell of this incense stick gets spread everywhere in the whole room. Okay. Now, another example. Suppose your mother is cooking some delicious dish in the kitchen, and by sitting in another room also you come to know that some delicious food is being cooked on by your mother. How? Because the hot aroma of the food gets mixed with the air particles, and these air particles get spread, they flow and reach to other places, they flow to the very large distance also. So, because of this property of fluidity, liquids and gases are called as fluids. So, we can say that fluids exert force of friction on objects in motion through them. So, when the objects are moving in such fluids, even they experience a friction. Why? Because fluids exert force of friction on these objects. The frictional force exerted by fluids is also called as drag. What is a drag? It is a frictional force exerted by fluids, means exerted by liquids and gases, that is called as drag. Okay. Now, the frictional force on an object in a fluid depends on its speed with respect to the fluid. So, the frictional force which is exerting on the object by the fluid depends on the speed also, speed of the object also, means whether the object is moving slowly or moving very fast. The frictional force also depends on the shape of the object and also the nature of the fluid. So, see, the same frictional force is not offered by every liquid on every object. It depends on many factors. What is the first factor? It depends on the speed of the object. It also depends on the shape of the object, and it depends on nature of the fluid also. Okay, so based on this, there is a different force of friction in different fluids. It is obvious that when objects move through fluids, they have to overcome friction acting on them, isn't it? As I have told that fluids exert force of friction, means the objects which are moving in these fluids, they have to overcome through this friction which is acting on them. In this process, they lose energy. Efforts are therefore made to minimize friction. Okay, so if for overcoming the force of friction, the objects lose energy, then some efforts are made so that this friction can be minimized, and that is why the loss of energy can also be minimized by these objects. So, for that what efforts are done? Mainly the objects are given special shapes. What do you think? Where do you think the scientists get hints for these special shapes? Why the different objects are there in different shapes? How the scientists get ideas? They get these ideas from nature, of course. They observe the different objects in the nature and they use this idea and they make different objects which are resembling to the shape of the objects in nature. Now, for example, birds and fishes have to overcome about fluids all the time. As you know that birds continuously fly in the air. So they have to overcome the force of friction offered by air. Similarly, fishes, they are aquatic. So they are in water all the time and they have to overcome the force of friction offered by the water. So for that, their bodies must have evolved to shapes which would make them not to lose much energy in overcoming friction. So as they stay continuously in the fluids, birds in the air and fishes in the water, so continuously if they are losing a lot of energy, then they cannot survive. So their bodies must have evolved to such shapes which make them not to lose much energy in overcoming friction. You read about these shapes in class 7. You know the shape of the bird as well as the shape of fish. Okay. So look carefully at the shape of an aeroplane which is shown here in the figure 12.7. Do you find any similarity in its shape and that of a bird? Just look at this, both the figures. Similarity in shapes of an aeroplane and a bird is shown. So you can see the shape of the bird and the shape of the aeroplane and these parts of the aeroplane and here these wings of the bird. So in fact, the idea of the aeroplane's shape is taken from bird. Okay. So in fact, the vehicles, the different vehicles are designed to have shapes which reduce fluid friction. So for reducing the fluid friction, the different objects, the different vehicles are designed to have shapes which reduce fluid frictions. So students, what is a fluid friction? It is the friction offered by liquids and gases. So liquids and gases are called as fluids because they have the tendency to flow. So they flow, that is why they are called as fluid frictions. And because of this property, they can flow, so they are called as fluids, and the friction by fluids is called as drag. So we have discussed that when the object is in motion in fluid, whether it is air or water, they get their opposition for their movement because of this fluid friction, and then they have to overcome from this fluid friction. For that, special shapes are given to different objects so that less friction can be caused and less energy can be lost. So students, with this fluid friction, actually we have completed with our chapter. Now let us see what you have learned in this chapter. Okay, we have learnt that friction is a kind of force. Friction opposes the relative motion between two surfaces in contact. So when the object is moving, then these surfaces get some opposition because there is a force of friction in between the two surfaces in contact, and that is why the relative motion is affected by this friction, and this force of friction acts on both the surfaces. Okay, that means when you are suppose just pushing a box, then the force of friction is offered by the floor on the box, as well as the force of friction is offered by the box on the floor also. So it acts on both the surfaces. Okay. So force of friction, or simply we call it as friction, opposes the relative motion between two surfaces in contact, and it acts on both the surfaces. Now the second concept which we have discussed in the chapter is friction depends on the nature of surfaces in contact. Okay, so we have discussed that friction is in between the surfaces, but Is the friction offered same by all the surfaces? No. It depends on nature of surfaces in contact. Now, nature of surfaces means if the surface is rough, then there is more friction, and if the nature of the surface is smooth, then there is less friction. Okay, so based on the requirement, the surfaces can be made rough or smooth for increasing and or decreasing friction. We have discussed that the friction is because of presence of irregularities on the surfaces. The rough surfaces have more irregularities as compared to smooth surfaces. But even if you make the surface very smooth, polish it, you cannot remove the irregularities. Still there are some irregularities present on the surface, on even smooth surface. Okay, so when these irregularities of two surfaces get interlocked, then that causes friction, and friction also causes heat. Okay. Now, for a given pair of surfaces, friction depends upon the state of smoothness of those surfaces. Students, do you remember there is an activity in the chapter wherein there are three situations. You have to try to roll the pencil cell on the smooth table. In second case, you have to spread a piece of cloth on the table, and in third case you have to spread a thin layer of sand, and you have to note down the length which is covered by the pencil cell. In that you have observed that pencil cell covers more distance on the table, and whereas it covers less distance on a piece of cloth, and even least distance I should say when there is a layer of sand. Why? Because smoothness is different. Table is very smooth, and whereas cloth is not so smooth, and a layer of sand is in fact it is a rough surface. So, for a given pair of surfaces, friction depends upon the state of smoothness of those surfaces. Now, friction depends on how hard the two surfaces press together. So, the other thing on which the friction depends is that on how hard the two surfaces press together. If you take your two palms and just slide over each other, then you can very easily slide your palms over each other. But if you press them hard, rub it very hardly, then you will find that lot of heat is also generated in that case, and you cannot slide your palms as easily as in the first case. So, it depends on how hard the two surfaces press together. After that, we have discussed about types of the friction. In that we have seen about static friction. So, static friction comes into play when we try to move an object at rest. Okay. So, if an object is at rest, then when you try to move that object, then there is a friction in between the floor and that object. Suppose there is a heavy box which you have to push. So, there is a force of friction in between the floor and the heavy box, the surface, lower surface of the heavy box, and this friction is static friction. So, static friction comes into play when we try to move an object which is at rest. At rest means which is not moving previously, which is just kept stationary. After static friction, we have discussed about sliding friction. What is a sliding friction? Sliding friction comes with play when an object is sliding over another. Means one object is already in motion and it is very easy to move that object with more speed. Why? Because the two surfaces are sliding over another. So, the friction present in this case is a sliding friction. Sliding friction is smaller than static friction. Then friction is important for many of our activities. We have discussed the advantages of friction. We have discussed that if there is no friction in between the fingers and the pen, then you are not able to hold the pen and write anything. Similarly, if there is no friction in between the chalk and the board, then teachers are not able to write anything on the board. If the surface is too smooth, like if suppose the floor is made oily, greasy or wet, you cannot walk properly on such surfaces, you may fall down. So, you can also see that the bridges at railway stations, they are made deliberately rough, so that people can carry their luggage and they can climb those bridges. Otherwise, if they are made smooth, just imagine people are not able to climb on such bridges. They may fall down along with their luggages. So, friction is important for many of our activities. But there are some disadvantages also. So, friction is a evil also. Now, for example, if suppose you are playing carom and if there is a lot of friction, means the surface of carom board becomes very rough and you cannot enjoy the game properly. In that case, you use boric powder, you sprinkle boric powder so that friction can be reduced. Similarly, if machine parts are having a lot of friction in between their surfaces, then there is more production of heat, which is not good for the machines. So, friction can be increased by making a surface rough. The sole of the shoes and the tires of the vehicles are treaded to increase the friction. So, if the soles of the shoes and tires are not having the grooves or treaded, then you cannot walk along with those shoes, and similarly the tires will also slip down. And as I have told that friction is sometimes undesirable. So, it can be reduced by using lubricants. When one body rolls over another body, rolling friction comes into play. So, that is the third type of friction, that is rolling friction. Rolling friction is smaller than the sliding friction also. In many machines, friction is reduced by using ball bearings. So, fluid friction can be minimized by giving suitable shapes to bodies moving in fluids. So, in this chapter we have discussed the friction. There are different types like static friction, sliding friction and rolling friction. Then we have seen its importance as well as its limitation, means where we need to increase the friction, where we need to decrease the friction. And at last we have discussed about fluid friction. What is a fluid friction? It is a friction offered by different fluids. It can be minimized by giving suitable shapes to the bodies in moving fluids. Now students, there is a riddle for you. You will all like to enjoy the riddle, isn't it? So let us go to that riddle. So what is that riddle? Here there is a small riddle given for you in which you are supposed to name. What is that riddle? The riddle is about, you have to find out what it is which is present in between the two surfaces, and it increases when the surfaces are rough and it decreases when the surfaces are smooth. So, who am I? I am friction. Okay, students, we have completed with this chapter. Now, there are two activities at the end of the chapter. The first activity, you are going to find out what role does friction play in sports of your choice. Okay, all of you are interested in sports, I know very well, but you are going to find out the role of friction in your favorite sports. You are going to collect some pictures of that sports. Now, for example, cricket or football is your favorite sports. Then you are going to find out the role of friction in these sports. You are going to find out some pictures related to these sports, related to football or related to cricket or anything else. where friction is either supporting it or opposing it. Then these pictures you are going to display in your classroom with proper captions. So this is the first activity, and the second activity is, imagine that friction suddenly vanishes, means there is no friction at all. Then how would the life be affected? So you have to list such 10 situations where there is no friction at all, then how it will affect the life. So this first and second activity which are given at the end of the chapter in extended learning you are going to do, and I know that you will enjoy to do these activities. So students, here we have completed with this chapter friction. So go through the concepts and mark important points and enjoy the activities. Thank you.